Hello, my name is Logan Buttrey, and today I would like to discuss with you communism. Its conception, its principles, examples of it in recent history, shortcomings, as well as some interesting facts and defining characteristics of communism. Let us begin. Communism is a political theory derived from the ideology of Karl Marx in which all property is owned by the government and all industry is controlled by the government. Each person is paid and works according to their abilities and needs. While there are many different types of communism, all are centered around equality and communal efforts, generally with the government controlling nearly all aspects of life. Some examples of communism are Marxist communism, Leninist communism, Trotskyist communism, libertarian communism, council communism, and anarchist communism. In simple terms, what this means is everybody does what the government wants them to do, when the government wants them to do it, how the government tells them to do it, with only what the government gives them, essentially controlling their entire lives. While communism and socialism bear many similarities, including planned production, communal efforts, and equality to a certain degree, some aspects that are quite different, such as socialism centers mainly more around a strong government and a weaker people, whereas socialism generally attempts to have all citizens and government officials be equal. This is Karl Marx, a German philosopher and political revolutionary born in 1818, dying in 1883. He wrote the Communist Manifesto, which was a pamphlet in 1848, which defined all the characteristics of a communist or socialist society. He pioneered the idea of communal economics as practical in the real world, though many artists had done in the past. This is a picture of Joseph Stalin, born in 1878, leader of the Soviet Union following the Bolshevik Revolution in 1917 until his death in 1953. He transformed Russia from an agrarian communal society into an industrial power throughout Europe. He believed in the principle of communism in one state, which was defined by all countries in Europe generally bowing down to a central communist government, essentially creating one large communist country as opposed to several communist countries working together. This led to his desire for expansion of communism led to the Cold War, which was a conflict that took place over many decades between the United States and Russia, though an indirect conflict had many sites of battles and tensions rose high throughout history because of this. Some examples of communist countries include current communist countries are the People's Republic of China, the People's Republic of Cuba, the government system in Vietnam, as well as North Korea. Some of the most prominent past societies that were communist were Ukraine, Poland for a time, Soviet Russia, which was the most prominent and longest lasting communist society ever to be recorded, which led to having many satellite states, which was again a major aspect of the Cold War. The Cold War was mainly fought over fighting with the Russian side trying to expand communism and the Americans and some European countries wanting to keep it contained. This led to many containment policies being enacted by the governments in the United States as well as Western Europe. The barrier between the two opposing sides was referred to as the Iron Curtain. As you can see, Western Europe was a part of the Eastern Bloc, which favored capitalism, and all the red portions on the map were part of the Western Bloc, which were communist countries, and the Iron Curtain is the dividing line between them, as referenced in Winston Churchill's Iron Curtain speech, in which he attempted to get more morale for his citizens in Great Britain. There were several anti-communist attitudes that erupted from this debacle, such as the Crucible. Arthur Miller wrote the book about, which was an allegory for the anti-communist attitudes that took place in America at the time with the communist purges. Overall, communism is not a sustainable form of government, as been proven by so far every communist state that there's ever been has not lasted longer than 70 years, with Soviet Russia being the longest lasting one. And it ultimately dooms whatever society is a part of to failure. Thank you for listening, and